Today, we will introduce Howla Master's LoRa products, the LM200 I/O Mapping Master and the LC144 I/O Controller can achieve the analog I/O mapping functions. First, let's introduce the interfaces of LM200 and LC144. They both share the compact IP40 protection enclosure to endure wide operation temperature from -40 to 70 Celsius degrees. 6 dB LoRa antenna is included. The power input accepts 10 to 30 voltage DC, and the configuration can be done with the micro USB cable to the PC. LC144 supports multiple analog inputs and outputs, such as 0 to 10 V voltage input and output, 4 to 20 mA current input and output. One LM200 LoRa Master can connect up to 250 LoRa controller LC144, each with different Modbus ID. The LoRa network can extend in 2 to 5 kilometer range. With the predefined rule chain, LM200 acts as I/O mirror controller to actively polling LC144 channel data and forward to another LC144 channel output to form transparent communication between the LC144 units. For example, we can define an LM200 that the LC144 with ID 4 to send the channel 0 voltage reading to map the output to another LC144 with ID 3 the same voltage value in channel 5. Or LC144 with ID 3 to send the channel 1 current value to another LC144 with ID 2 and ID 5 to output the same value in channel 4. By doing so, there is no need to have a PLC in between. Both LM200 and LC144 can be connected to a computer via a micro USB cable for setup. First, download the LoRa Mac utility, install and open the software, connect LM or LC. Select the COM port to connect to, and you can log in. Go to the serial page to set up the ID for each LM200 and LC144. It should be noted that the ID cannot be repeated. GroupNet needs to configure the agreement between LM and LC. If encryption is set, both LM200 and LC144 need to have the same encryption configuration. The group owner ID is ID of the LM200 on each of the LC144. In destination ID, LM200 ticks all the IDs of LC144. LC144 does not connect to Modbus device, therefore there is no need to tick any ID. LM200 and LC144 need to have the same LoRa configuration to communicate in both directions. Select a legal frequency in your area and select a large bandwidth for the bandwidth to increase the transmission speed, but may reduce the sensitivity. Spreading factor settings range from 5 to 12, configured according to the transmission distance. Generally, the farther the distance, the larger the SF required, and the transmission rate will decrease. Code rate is the fault-tolerant redundancy rate. The more redundant codes there are, the slower the data transmission. The greater the TX power, it helps to increase the transmission distance. Click on Write to save the new configuration. The rule chain is defined in LM200. Connect LM200 to the LoRa Mac utility and go to the page of rule chain. Add each rule with source ID and channel and target ID and channel. Click Add to add the rule. LM200 supports voltage to voltage, current to current, and voltage to current, current to voltage mapping. Go to top of the menu to Find Tool and Setting to set the current timestamp. Then we can start to test the setting with voltage input on one LC to see if the mapping is successfully forwarding to another LC by LM200 rule. Go to Chain Monitor page to see if it's correctly mapping.